Hello, hello, hello. It is incredibly hot here in Berlin. I am sweating and the studio has all the windows open, but we're ready. Dota 2 is happening. Frankfurt ESL One qualifiers for Europe and CIS. Let's get straight into the draft, shall we? Team Empire against Finem. Let's get cracking straight into this and welcome in my co-caster, Moppax. Heroes are being picked, Doom has been banned, and Puck is in the first phase.
Yeah,
What's happening?
Pretty much exactly what we were expecting from Team Empire. They are just loving this Puck lately for Scandal, man. Scandal is back. Everyone, all hail Scandal. This is my first time getting to watch or cast a Scandal game, so I'm pretty hyped up. Back with Team Empire. This guy, he has like 400 career games with Empire, and then he just shows up out of nowhere and he's just back, you know? Like, I'm pretty pumped about that.
Oh man, I used to be scared of this guy back what, a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit less than that, when I was decent at Dota 2 and I was like 5.5 KMR. I used to meet Scandal in pubs, and he'd be like bossing with his Queen of Pain and his TA, two of his kind of favorite heroes back then. And I would, literally just be super afraid. Oh god, it's Scandal again. He's gonna pick a mid hero, and he's just gonna absolutely demolish everyone. And then he kind of just went off the face of the earth a little bit. He played stand-in for a couple of other CIS teams. For me, he always feels like he's kind of the new age Vigos for me. He's a very good player, but he's never kind of found his groove in a team.
Yeah, it's kind of understandable. And being away for so long, it's kind of interesting to see like how it's going to be different for him now coming back. Game's a lot different now, much higher skill all around in terms of the overall teams and everything like that. So, Finem though, they're also no slouches. They've been on a little bit of a tear lately. I was actually just taking a look at some of their bigger matchups lately, and one of them was up against VP, and it was bad. It was over in Dream League. 2 games in a row, they gave away OD, Enchantress, Faceless Void, that trio, to VP, and it was shocking. Like the first game, they somehow won despite VP coming up to the racks at 25 minutes. That was pretty crazy. And then, big hour-long comeback, major nice plays, good Batrider stuff, which might also be coming out with this Nature's Prophet and IO. And then the second game, when they did let it through again, they lost with their IO Tiny draft in that one. So there's that Tiny this time. Hopefully it'll go a little bit better for them.
Oh, and a Tide Hunt straight out afterwards. Well, Team Empire do take up the Tide, which is always kind of seen as one of those pseudo counters to Wisp and Tiny, the Ravage available to stop the relocate coming in, or at least to stop them insta-killing anyone when the relocate does actually happen. But Empire, they've got lots of lane-winning heroes here, kind of, and that's where I think the Queen of Pain for Thug definitely is going to come into play. Just try and reset the status quo there and give at least one of these lanes for Finem a little bit of an easier time. Although that being said, Puck versus Quap was always one of those very even matchups based heavily on player skill.
I actually thought they were going to go for the Invoker when I started to think about it. Like I initially considered like the Batrider, but then depending on how they wanted the lane, and people don't tend to really do like this safe lane shenanigans. I've been in China too long, man. I've seen too many safe lane Batriders coming out and these weird combos. But no, I'm really surprised they didn't go for the Invoker. But here we are. Last band Spectre, solid stuff there, and so I guess we're assuming this will be the Queen of Pain mid versus the Puck. That means IO Tiny safe lane, and then they might be getting a little bit greedier, perhaps. I'm not sure. Could just go for like a really, super poverty 5 role, like your Witch Doctor who's still left in the pool, or even Oracle for CIS teams.
I mean, Slark here wouldn't be bad as the game progresses. He's pretty good up against that Wisp, trying to hunt him down.
Yeah.
With the Bounty Hunter, you just rack up these track kills time and time again. And with the Lion, you do have kill potential over on the Nature's Prophet. But sometimes you're just a bit worried about the tiny Queen of Pain AoE combination just ripping you to shreds during that Shadow Dance.
Reserve time.
What have Empire been preferring here?
Lately, seems like, they've gone for some wilder stuff like the Medusa, but the Gyro is still left in the pool. He definitely seems like the most stable one, right? When you look at this, you're like, just like Puck, Tide Hunter.
Usually the Lycan for Ramses comes out with a Chen or a Broodmother or something like that. Drow range, obviously, it's not really being set up here for Team Empire. There's Puck Lion, but not really a Drow strat to push into these towers.
I wouldn't mind an Ursa if they want to try it, but I think Gyro's the stable, like, safe kind of a pick here.
That would be pretty good. Where, on the other hand, Finem, you're mentioning through a couple of their other supports, they do need someone a little more sort of static and able to hold out on a lane. Just have a couple of disables behind them as well. But right now, you're looking at Tiny holding the only real stuns they've got behind them. Gyro you called for, good solid all-rounder for that carry position, while Finem, the Spirit Breaker.
Nice.
That's going to give them the stuns, but only if the RNG allows him to get these bashes out from that 17%. But it also ties in fully for this team strat, right? Nature's Prophet, TPing around, charging around from the Spirit Breaker, relocates and blinks and all that sort of nonsense. It kind of reminds me actually of... back at IESF, the Romanian team that played there up against Newbie, they had this very... They had this very sort of well-defined pocket strat, and it was Spirit Breaker, Nature's Prophet, and they just... Basically, as a pairing, they would be a ganking duo from off-lane and from one of their support positions. And I think that's what maybe Skylark looks for here with his Spirit Breaker buddy. Just try and make up the numbers in these laning stage early on positions and win the skirmishes as often as they can. Because the Queen of Pain versus Puck matchup, sure enough, it's going to be 50-50. But you add in 2 extra heroes there out of nowhere, Puck's not going to have a good time. And Bounty Hunter's not really a great reaction hero. He doesn't come in to save. He goes in aggressively, looking for the options moving forwards. While King R wants to be sitting on lane, defending up his Gyrocopter. I think Empire here do have to be very aware of the mobility of Finem coming through in the early stages.
Yeah, I'm really digging that Spirit Breaker pick, actually. Like, it really makes up for the fact that you're going for this kind of Queen of Pain who is all damage and not a lot of control. So, Spirit Breaker, of course, going to be giving that nice little global potential and setting up for a little bit of the relocates in here. So, feeling pretty good. We also don't have any Enchantresses. We don't have any Lone Druids. Nothing that's going to be, like, difficult to gank or anything like that. It like creates a lot of problems when you're trying to get this aggression going. So maybe we'll get ourselves like a fast-paced game. I find the games have been slowing down a little bit lately. You know, the patch started out just so explosive.
What do Empire do? Empire is still all in their base. They're just like sitting around in the fountain. Start up the campfire, get the s'mores out. Start playing a bit of the banjo, bit of campfire songs, kumbaya, just sitting around, not doing too much. But they finally left the confines of their base. The fortifications have been left. And maybe they'll look to fetch a lavash and start throwing cows around. As maybe next time he's sitting on that Spirit Breaker. Nice little treant, nice little spot for him. Maybe going to see the Tide Hunter as he moves himself forward, but... AF, Miposhka, a Bounty Hunter, Privyat Bratan, looking around for maybe a little target here. Splash vodka in their eyes. Bounty, you'll see a couple. But he has gone for the Orb of Venom level 1, not for the brown boots, so maybe not going to aim towards that career snipe, just going to punch Thug around a little bit there. One little swipe forward. But 20 seconds until that Bounty rune spawns, and it looks like it's just going to be the one-for-one trade-off here. Bounty not going to want to maybe show his head towards this bottom lane, as there are a number of heroes as well as a Spirit Breaker with both Observers, Sentries, and Dust. And, you know, looking at this, very often we kind of think about Bounty Hunter being this aggressive force, and we want someone to really trace his steps and make sure they, you know, keep tabs on him. Make sure they know where the Bounty Hunter is at most times. Spirit Breaker is very good at this. Good at reacting to Bounty's movements and really counteracting what he does.
Yeah, he's like the classic pub counter. Like, if I see a Bounty Hunter and I need that like 4-roll support, you can count on me going Spirit Breaker, trying to shut him down. And a lot of games lately, we're getting this like early Bounty Hunter pick, and it's really hard for him to make an impact sometimes if you pick out too early and they draft really defensively against it. And this is definitely one of those games. Like, what kind of a lane is he going to have a real impact in? Maybe top. But other than that, he can harass out Thug a little bit, perhaps, if he doesn't have sentries. Oh, that's a nice charge.
He's going to stun up Skylark, and Ramses, he's got a good amount of damage, but the Lion doesn't stand a chance against the right clicks from that Nature's Prophet. And Spirit Breaker, first movement of the game. He'll definitely make good work of that. While they've placed the sentry here as well, Miposhka, he might reveal himself to these creeps. He's actually staying just out of range of this. I don't know if he knows whereabouts the sentry was placed. But he probably does know that it's been thrown down onto the ground somewhere here by maybe next time. And Bounty Hunter just hiding behind the trees, but look at that, the pings come out. And Finem know exactly what's going on. Miposhka's initial movement's not really going to pan out, but in the meantime, you know, Queen of Pain, one last hit and one deny. He is being destroyed by Scandal at this middle lane. Completely and utterly destroyed. Nice puck with that one. It was like 2 punches from the Bounty, right? Bounty walks up, high ground, punches Queen of Pain twice, but you can't play aggressively into it. So Thug going to have to salve up in a second, or maybe play aggressively to Scandal there with a scream forward. Scandal does have a phase shift, but no orb in 4 seconds, and Scandal Fairy Fire forward is not going to be enough, and they make up the numbers really well towards his middle lane. He'll join himself away. That final hit in, going to get cancelled by the salve, but Thug will secure the kill. And maybe next time, in case the Bounty was lurking around, places the sentry, and in fact, they will spot him. Not going to look for that kill, though.
Oh, there's the Dust, though.
They're going to try and find this one. Damage output is decent here. With the blink
God.
forward, there's no dagger, but there is another scream from Thug, and it's level 2. Will require it to finish off the bounty. And all of a sudden, this Queen of Pain is level 3.5, getting closer to 4. Plenty of gold in the bank as well, with another bounty rune picked up.
Yeah, it's really important they made this big rotation in Scandal as well, right? Like, we've seen so many pucks just kind of snowball. They get that early 6, get another gank going, maybe set up with that bounty hunter. So, solid stack coming out for them. Obviously benefiting the Nature's Prophet and the Spirit Breaker. And they can kind of do their own little mix-up. Now, maybe he's just going to come and try and leech top. Spirit Breaker farms the jungle. Afterlife definitely having a good time, though. He's helping to show, you know, try and slow down Madara, but he's leading the last hit board. Not much Tiny can do, but at least he can stay in, or rather, Tidehunter can do, but at least he can stay in lane, right? It's hard for them to force him out.
Cheeky little tether across by Spartan. Gets himself away from the Anchor Smash of Afterlife. But yeah, the thing is with this Tide is he's getting his levels decently enough, and he'll... Well, he's actually got a Ring of Protection there. Is that going to be Tranquil's Tidehunter for him, maybe? Just a
He might have been thinking he needed an Iron Talon.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Madara's hunting for this kill, though. Miposhka with a DD rune. They've got a Sentry Ward placed, and with a toss, Madara, he's got a good amount of damage, but not quite enough just yet. One final hit in, but that... Oh! A little ball out from Spartan. The light shines in the Bounty's face. And again, the Bounty Hunter not having the best of times in this early stage of the game. Still sitting at level 2. Is top under a little bit of trouble. Stun into Rocket Barrage. And maybe next time charges away. The final click not coming in. And maybe next time does get himself away from that dangerous position.
That was close. Yeah, he just kind of waltzed right into the Hex, but... Alright, this could get really obnoxious too, right? Like if you try these little stun lockdowns coming from King Iron, you don't get it successfully. Spirit Breaker just charges away, so he makes his way halfway back to the fountain for free. And if they don't get Skylark and he TP's home, like at least it's a Lion, so your resources aren't the biggest concern. But I feel like eventually it gets a little bit frustrating, is like how much you're wasting and not getting the kills. And every single time it is keeping Ramses away from the wave, but he's climbed his way back to the top of the CS.
Oh, Bounty Hunter, you should know about this. Spartan's going to move across for the haste rune, and he'll pick it up pretty easily. Puck has no chance of securing either rune. That's going to be an empty bottle you've got to try and refill. As down at bottom lane, Madara's going back in onto Afterlife. Have a toss, combinations there, and with the orb damage, need a few more right clicks, but the Anchor Smash will save Afterlife. Oh, no, it won't. It will not keep him alive. Again, Spartan is there with the damage out while up at top. Wait, where is that? Damn, deep in behind that tier 1 towards the Radiant Jungle. Bounty Hunter is found. And 6-0 at Finem. They're cruising. Absolutely cruising through this game.
Yeah, this is a really hard Bounty Hunter game. Like, it's so, not only because of the heroes he's against, but Finem are playing it so well. They get these great sentries like down bottom. Now that might have been for a D ward, perhaps, but either way. Still ADM against the Bounty Hunter, been doing some work. And they've got the great rotations, and again, the pressure on a Scandal. He just orbed.
Yeah, no orbs offensively here, and a TP into the back. No Nature's Prophet coming through. But maybe next time, he is lacking in levels, but he's still getting this pressure applied to all of these lanes, while up at top, Skylark has got his phase boots, his Ring of Bassi. And they haven't really secured their safe lane. The Nature's Prophet is giving so much knowledge and intelligence here across to Ad Finem. They know where the bounty is sitting. They don't have a dust on. Maybe next time, though, with a TP forward. Nature's Prophet thinking about it. They've got the charge as well, but Skylark should just be able to right-click down with Miposhka. Another invis. We'll get him a little bit further away from this dangerous spot. And again, no further reveal there from that little Spirit Breaker. Ad Finem won't find another kill, but... It's not just the alleviation of the pressure from the Bounty Hunter, right? It's not as though, okay, we're giving ourselves a better time than we really should have. It's also flipping it on his head. Empire are having a much worse time than they should have across these lanes.
Yeah, what are they trading for these 6 kills really right now? Like, the Tidehunter's not having a fantastic time. He's had to go into that jungle. He's picked up that Iron Talon. Really, the only bright spot is Ramses. Being up top there, and he's still a little bit behind, of course, Thug, just because he's having a very good time in the mid lane in terms of the kills and whatnot, but Ramsey's going to make some really big rotations with these early call downs, I feel like.
And Scandal cannot get a single rune. Like, yeah. Scandal got like the first bounty rune, but after that he's not really got too much. Skylark, he's coming in for this. They know that the orb is down, and Scandal, he's trapped in the sprout, but a good cut through the trees there will allow the puck to escape. I think your point you're making about this gyrocopter, I'm in full agreement. Ramses has to be like the linchpin hero here for the next 6 to 7 minutes. Because laning phase, it's been atrocious. It has been absolutely devastating here for Team Empire. And they need some way to get Bounty Hunter towards that level 6 as quickly as they possibly can, and honestly, it's got to be through fighting.
Yeah, my concern is that if you leave the gyro and he just wants to farm, then he's just going to get Sonic waved, like, or comboed but by Tiny, because they're going to be getting equal farm. It's not like he's going to out-farm them or something and, like, hope for a better mid-game. They're just going to immediately focus him, knowing he's the only one that has anything, and then where are you going to be at as Empire?
Well, the Tide Hunter did go back for the Iron Talon, but he's also got his level 6 as well as Arcane Boots, so Afterlife, I've got these big teamfight ultimates between himself, the Puck, and the Gyro at this point. The question is, where do they go and use it? Because Finem, looking at the Wisp, he is very close to that level 6. Relocate's going to be available soon, and I've got this feeling that it'll be Finem on the front foot looking for these kills, so I think Empire, they've got to set up kind of defensively and make sure that they aren't in pairs or less. You know, they've always got to have groups of 3 heroes or something like that, while the other ones are hiding in the jungle just farming away in secret. Because if you look at them, Finem, this kind of net is closing around this dire jungle, right? They're pushing all these heroes up towards this dire jungle, looking for the Puck, looking for the Lion, and probably going to go look for that easier tier 1 up at top. That is probably going to be the safest little objective they can take at this early stage of the game. Make sure they just line their pockets with a bit of gold. Also push the Gyro away from the lane and back into his jungle where maybe he's not as secure.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty excited for this little mud golem to die down here. Oh, Spartan's like, alright, there we go. So, relocate.
Scandal. Cheeky little rune tonight. So is Spartan level 6? Oh, he has 7 experience over it. And there we go. They relocate straight up on the top. Ramses, he's left alone. There's no one here to save him. They've given up on the buddy system. They'll lose one, and they might lose more here. Scandal, oh, they stopped the charge with the Hex forward. Scarlet just going to get right back down with Scandal. The Dream Call is down onto a couple of them, but Fairy Fire and Scandal, he's got no way of escaping. Oh, 3-man Earth Spike from King R will get him out of trouble for now, but the Ravage forward from Afterlife catches 2 of them, and Madara, they find one. Maybe next time looking for another, but the 2 big cores of Empire, they're both dead. While the charge forward, this Tiny, he's just crushing people. The Igneous Rockman is destroying one after the other. He's not sedimentary, he's made out of granite. And Madara cleans up house.
Yeah, best hero Dota 2. I mean, people pick this hero safe lane with no IO.
They didn't even need the qual.
Yeah.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Wait.
Oh, they got the courier though.
How does this happen? Well, Bounty Hunter finally accomplishes something this game, but the Dustful Wood from Skylark, there's a stun coming through with a charge. Maybe next time finds his target. And 10-1. First 10 kills go to AF. Well, Team Empire, they've got one on the board. That's something they can look forward to, but with the Tiny now having a Blink Dagger, the mobility of this Radiant team is just ridiculous.
Yeah, there's essentially, I don't think any other core that can output the damage that Tiny can at this level and with the Blink Dagger. Like 10 minutes, he's about to hit level 9, so he's going to quite literally have a 900 damage burst between your like combo plus a right click. So he can eliminate almost Scandal in a single blow. Of course, Lion stays squishy forever, Bounty Hunter. This is just terrifying. Even Ramses, like he's got the belt of strength right now, just trying to tank up and survive through some of this. But that was a really sick rotation top, and that's one of the best scenarios for a Puck. It's the counter initiation right by the tower, going for the big Dream Coil, but the levels just are not there yet, obviously, for Scandal. The allies couldn't get there in time because they were so split on the map that obviously the delay on the TP makes life difficult. And Finem, it was a little bit of a risky play, but they just sniped it so well that it worked out amazingly for them.
Oh, this smoke from Empire. Oh, dearie me. Afterlife will scout out the Tiny and the Wisp, but Afterlife doesn't have a Ravage, and that damage output from Madara, it'll clear up through that one, but they'll hunt down the Wisp and probably finish him up. And the damage back from the Orbs, now the charge forward. King R, he's got a stun, but the Sonic Wave across the 2 of them. Phase shift from Scandal keeps him alive, but the toss back from Madara will punch him down. Oh, not quite take him out, but they're looking for Ramses on the back instead. And Scandal orbs himself back out to safety, but how safe is he? A blink forward from the Tiny, not quite going to reach there. With the relocate back, a little bit further away. I mean, Finem, they kill a 4 from Empire, and Puck escaping. It doesn't mean that much.
Wow. So, how early did we have Io Tiny? It was first phase Io, right, and then second phase Tiny? Yeah, because they went Io Nature's Prophet, which is one of the best 2 duos in terms of like win rate. At least it was last patch. I'm sure it still is. It's just insanely good, obviously. Amazing synergy between the 2 heroes. and then allowing the Tiny into that second phase. So I don't know, they didn't go for the Disruptor, they didn't go for the Winter Wyvern. They had the Puck and the Tidehunter as well, but Ravage, of course, it's got a bigger cooldown to relocate, so I don't know if you can consider it that good of a counter when you're also dealing with, like, just a Puck, and he has to be there every single time. These two supports, maybe if the level 6 had been top there for King R, like, that could have helped turn around that gank, but again, Ads and Em are just rolling. They know exactly when to go, where to go, who to hop on.
And we're looking at this game, quite often that kind of benchmark, right, is like the 20k net worth lead by 20 minutes. It's heading that way. If it continues at this pace, it's definitely going to be aiming towards that for Ad Finem. So Empire, they really want to throw a wrench in the works here and look for a kill, find a pick off onto someone. And this 2-0-10 Spirit Breaker might just be that one. Miposhka is tracing around behind this tier 1, but maybe next time looks like he's safe for now. And Team Empire, this big old group up and smoke. They don't apply pressure onto a tower. They don't look into the Roche pit. They get nothing done whatsoever, while up at top lane, the hardcore push onto tier 2 is coming through.
They can look at Afterlife right now, too, so they're going to know the moment that he makes any sort of movement, where it'd be like the tier 3 or anything, and he's just walking. So, there's no defense.
Oh, Madara jumps, Scandal dead. Easy one-hit kill, and with Afterlife now, he's going to have to look for the Ravage if they want to try and turn this one around with the Earth Spike out from King R and the Hex on to Madara. They just don't have the damage to kill anyone else, but Tiny's been left alone. They actually relocated back to the poor little Spirit Breaker. Madara's going to get cleared up here by Ramses, and a lot of gold goes his way. Ad Finem, I thought the Tiny was safe and actually looked to relocate the support. Spartan, I think that was a key mistake there in their teamfight plan, as Thug, with Skylark, is still up on top lane pushing into tier 3.
Maybe?
Well, pushing into tier 3 turns into a bloody kill. Ramses. Dear lord. Poor little Gyro. And TP's away means that Ad Finem don't lose anything from that.
Wow, no chill on this guy, man. It's like, my Tiny, you take my Tiny, take your life. So, they've already got up this aggressive vision. Everything's looking good for Ad Finem, getting everything they need. I'm sure this will probably get dewarded here in a moment. Got to be knowing this is coming out here. There is also some aggressive vision from Empire, so maybe it'll allow them to know when Ad Finem are coming into their side of the map, but other than that, it's not going to be helping too much. They're going to lose that bottom tower. More of it being opened up here. Roshan is a go anytime they would like. Potentially after a nice pick off onto one of these bigger AoEs, you can be a Dream Coil or Ravage.
Well, Madara, he's got his Ogre Club on top of drums and blink, and they just probably got a drums as well. Drums phase, pretty standard over there on him. But is Madara going to go back into the Ags now? I mean, BKB is pretty useful for the Tiny, but you rarely see it as one of your primary items before Ags. Oh, they're jumping in down in bottom lane, Afterlife. Charge across from maybe next time. Going to clip onto Ramses there, but they don't commit for anything too heavily. As Ad Finem just want to try and group up and take down this tier 2.
I'm going to guess that he probably bought it before he died to that gank, and it's just the eggs, like, and he just couldn't buy because the courier wasn't at the shop. But honestly, if he wanted to go BKB, I'd be totally down with that. Like, what's their comeback potential? It's just puck damage and King R. And as long as he just BKBs and blinks in, they're going to win this game.
There's the blink in. Tiny just jumps straight in onto the poor little bounty. Madara's going to try and jump himself away from this one. The relocate forward. Okay, not away, but in. Spartan wants to play aggressively. The Ravage is up in 20 seconds time, and this orb from Scandal will clip across the bow of 2. The tier 2 tower. It's already dead. And this is just securing more map control and presence for Ad Finem. As Madara will pick up the point booster, so it will be the Aghanim Scepter. It's clearing through these creep waves, chunking them down. Empire, they started the game sitting in their fountain, not doing too much. And it looks like they might be ending the game doing that as well. 17-2, 15.5 minutes in. They have no control over their fate whatsoever. They have to wait for Ad Finem to slip up and make a mistake to come back into this.
Yeah, and I like this Orc that Thug's gone for as well. Obviously, there's not going to be any defensive items coming out from Scandal anytime soon, as well as even just Ramses. Like, he's gone for the Sange to try and tank up as early as he can, but that means he's still going to be vulnerable to that as well for quite a while. And maybe Madara, okay, this would be huge. Can he save him? They don't have relocate.
Doesn't have a streak, but he is very, very fat, and with the Finger of Death from King Art, will secure the kill. Thug is thinking about going back in onto Ramses, but the trouble is, they've also got Afterlife coming through with a nice little Ravage being held onto. Tether across back to Thug will save both of them for now. Well, Skylark has decided it's time to cliff jungle. He's got an ancient stack. He's got trolls to kill. He's got the cliff top security. He got 2,300 gold. You can't flame someone from cliff jungling next to profit anymore. It's a legit strat.
Yeah, he's been up there for so long, man. He put it up there, like, cleaned up the camp, started doing his little ancient stack. Good stuff, good stuff.
Scandal nearly has Blink, 70 gold off it. That could be the big turning point here for Team Empire. If they can get the Blink, Silence, Initiation, plus the Dream Coil, they've got lots of things to follow through with that one on top of it. Ravage Cooldown. You do need someone to set up for them, especially when you don't have the Blink on Tide. And it's kind of interesting that the Tide did go for the Urn of Shadows instead of going for a mech.